boy, where you been? It's TeeJay, the artist. You rock with me. You are the smartest, and we back with another video, man. 1 James Harden fan, 10 James Harden haters. But I ain't gonna lie, the haters been whooping on him. The haters been whooping on him, bro. Let's get into the video. We getting straight into it. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's do it. Could you turn me up in the headphones a little bit?
My next claim is
what's your next claim?
Playoff struggles have been exaggerated by the media and the fans.
He said that the fans and the media have exaggerated James Harden's playoff struggles. I don't think so, but I think his playoff struggles are valid. As in, every time he gets there, he struggles. He does his thing up until they say, hey, the playoffs started. He has some performances where he actually did his thing, but then it's like, all right, you need to win the full series, and he get bounced.
All right.
Here we go.
Why? So we'll have to get back to the fact that it's more of a system issue than it is with Harden.
Did he say he was the system?
And that Harden is like, we brought up like Steph. Steph got to play 30 minutes a game, and then he's completely fresh for the playoffs. And when you get to the playoffs, I think, honestly, I do. I think it's Morey and I think it was D'Antoni, the way they designed their offense. There was very little chance he was ever going to have to match anything he did in the regular season. And he was certainly going to be so worn out that, and we can acknowledge, that's what a lot of the issue was, right? He just didn't have anything left for the playoffs.
Why did Chris Paul leave Houston?
You tell me.
Because he started clashing with Harden. Because Harden wanted to pound the back. Harden wanted this system. You could tell me D'Antoni implemented it, Morey wanted it, but Harden also wanted it because it allowed him to put up these 30 points with MVP.
Let me ask you.
So you can't have it both ways.
Well, but yeah, but has Chris Paul ever clashed with anybody else in any other teams?
Who was he clashed with?
Are you kidding? Like, he was a pariah at the end of the Clippers his first stint there. And he's
Was
a guy,
he?
yeah, he's a guy that rubs people really wrong and wears out his welcome, believe me. So Chris Paul not going along with somebody, that doesn't really compel me that it's a Harden thing.
Because Harden is beloved by everyone he plays with too. Okay, but back to the point.
He hitting you with the smart jokes. Oh, he owned
playing
you.
the same pound the ball system in 2015 when he had 11 turnover shot, like 2 of 12 in Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
Was he?
In 2015 and with the Rockets?
I don't think so because D'Antoni wasn't even there yet.
Oh, Lord.
Who was the coach in
Mikhail.
2015? Oh, right.
Oh, my goodness. He got you.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, is that right? Is that when Mikhail was still there?
Yeah. What about 2017? Like Game 6
He caught you. Boy, it's on your...
against
2015.
Mikhail.
Hold
Shot
on.
2 of 12 in Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals.
Thing.
Because Harden is beloved by everyone he plays with too. Okay, but back to the point. Was he playing the same pound the ball system in 2015 when he had 11 turnover shot, like 2 of 12 in Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals?
Yeah.
Was he?
In 2015 and with the Rockets?
I don't think so because D'Antoni wasn't even there yet.
Who was the coach in
Mikhail.
2015? Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Oh, is that right? Is that when Mikhail was still there?
Yeah. What about 2017? Like Game 6 against the Spurs. Kawhi's not playing. I think someone said earlier, Tony Parker wasn't playing. Pau Gasol got playing. Didn't just lose, got blown out on his home court, and didn't get blown out on his home court, like went down swinging.
Right.
He was so bad, he scored in single digits. James Harden scored in single digits in an elimination game on his home court when the defensive player of the year wasn't even playing.
Right. I mean,
that's
again,
over-exaggerated?
Well, my point stands is with the context missing is that, you know, when you have a playoff team that can have days and days to prepare, then it's not fair in a way for Harden.
It's not fair. This man said the playoffs is not fair because see, I can't. This is why he's been losing. So James Harden done said, we all know the quote, "I am the system," right? He's the system, right? So if you're the system, you play one way all regular season. You don't think that when you get to the playoffs, people finna lock in on that? You only got one style. You as the superstar on the team can say, okay, this is working, but we might need to change a few things because in the playoffs, they're going to start doing this. They're not going to call these fouls. Like, come on, bro. You got to think about this, bro.
Than to have to deal with that kind of scrutiny because there is very little he's going to be able to get done on that. What he did, I think, is you know what you'd almost expect at that point.
Luka got to the finals. He got to the finals just fine. Plenty of other guys have gotten to the finals just fine. Allen Iverson did it. Like at a certain point, it falls on the guy to figure it out and make it work. And I would also agree with your point more of like, oh, Harden gets worn down. If like he went down swinging, but he didn't. He would take no shots in these elimination games,
saying that he ain't doing enough.
He wouldn't even go down swinging. Like he just wouldn't show up, and it was embarrassing.
Well, wait, so like in Philly, when did he not show up? That's very
Game
rare.
7 against Boston.
Yeah.
How many points did he score? Single digits.
Yeah.
9 points.
Right.
He knows. He's a Philly fan. Mother's Day. It hurt him emotionally.
And they had that series too. I just feel like to me, it seems more of the strategy than it is him because, again, they put all the pressure on him to have to do everything for those teams. And that's what's frustrating for me. The other teams are a little bit different only because they were just dysfunctional stuff like with the Nets and the Philly. Like, you have Doc Rivers as a coach, and that's a real problem.
I'm not going to defend Doc Rivers.
That's the problem. Like, if you want to point to Game 7s, like Doc Rivers has the most Game 7 losses, and his teams all lose the same
Doc Rivers also ain't out there on the court either.
Way, and they all kind of melt down in a similar way. So that's why I'm pointing it. I think it's much more of a coaching thing and a much more of a strategy thing than it was on him.
You might have some point to that, but at the same time, at a certain point, it does have to fall on the best player. And also, if Harden really wanted to win championships, then he would go to the coach and say, hey, like, I need to take a step back because we need to play the long game to compete for a championship. I need to preserve energy. So maybe I take fewer regular season stats and play, and then I'm better in the playoffs, right? Maybe give the ball more to Chris Paul, but he never really did that and hit him in the butt.
Okay. So. There you go. Good one. He cooked you.
I think Harden's playoff failures come down to nothing more than his own lack of commitment to the game.
Ooh.
Interesting.
That's different.
You think he has a lack of commitment to the game?
When you look at what he does in the offseason, he's missing out on crucial team workouts to go be in the club with Lil Baby, Lil Durk, Meek Mill. He on there having a grand old time. When you come into off seasons, when you start the season and you have fans thinking that you're wearing a fat suit.
Oh, dang.
When you fail in the playoffs, it's not surprising. I understand that he has some injuries as well. But when you look at his poor conditioning due to his lack of work ethic and, like I said, not being committed to the team, I can't be surprised when somebody goes down in the playoffs or has poor playoff performances.
I mean, I don't think it's necessarily fair to talk about like the club stuff because, lots of guys are doing club stuff.
No. I understand a lot of guys go to the club, but they also don't go to games, like he said, looking like they got on a fat suit. They don't look chunky. They don't look, you know what I'm saying? They don't look out of what's the word? I can't think of the word right now. They don't look out of shape.
Still working on their
he be looking out of shape.
You can't argue that his skill level wasn't worked on, right? As really, to the nth degree, to more skill than most. I'm just telling you, when you're looking at, he's breaking records for usage rate across those teams, and that adds up. And so, if you're going to play him that much, it's 37 minutes a game over 80 games in a season, and the way he plays, and remember his ability to stop on a dime puts so much pressure on your hamstrings particularly. And so in those years when that would be a big problem, right? In the playoffs, he ended up tweaking his hamstring all the time. It's because they were playing him so many minutes. And again, do you want to blame Harden for that? Yes. I don't know.
Yes, because I'm the system. That's why.
I would blame the coaching much more than that. I mean, they're the ones in charge of playing time, and they need to be able to lay that out. And it seems like most stars are amenable to that when they come to them and say, "Listen, we can't play you that much." So, you're competitive, you're hyper competitive like he is. He's going to want to play, but that's where they needed to step in.
Yeah, I understand the system can play a part in anybody having a poor player performance or coming short. Yeah. But at some point in time, you got to look at your best player and say, it's on you. It's on you. When LeBron fails, it's on LeBron. When Steph fails, it's on Steph. When Kobe fails, it's on Kobe. I don't think it's fair. And if we're going to put James Harden in this upper echelon of these great players, we have to look at him. When we look at the playoffs, the most important game of any playoff series is a Game 7. James Harden averages 19 points on 35% from the field and 22% from three. That right. I can't go with
and
that.
Don't forget, there is a natural drop off in the playoffs for everybody, right?
Here he go. No, it is not. Stop. No, it is not.
Not that bad. That's not that bad.
No, it's not.
Not that. Maybe not that bad, but there.
No, it's not.
It is. So we can't ignore that idea. Now, again, when you're playing that style, and I will agree, it's like they were able to load up and make his life miserable. Like I felt for James Harden in those situations because they didn't have anything else to go to. Right? They didn't have. He wasn't coming off of screens. He wasn't getting handoffs into the middle and going down.
But that's by design.
He literally had to create it all on his own, and
That's by design.
then create every shot, including the threes that they only want to take. So, again, I just felt really bad for him in terms of the way they designed that team and the rosters, and certainly in Houston. And it was just, I don't know if anybody could have done much better than that.
Boy, you losing every round.
Final point, I can't be surprised when somebody's dropping off in the playoffs. Coach is calling him, yo, come to practice. We need you for these workouts. He's hanging up. Little baby calling him, yo, I'm coming in the double R. We going to the club. I got the bottles. And he's going. I can't be surprised when somebody like that drops off in the playoffs.
All right.
Nice talking.
Oh, man, you losing, boy.
The lack of accountability for James Harden is just staggering. It's off the charts. For the 76ers, they were up in that series. And I'll give him game one when
he
Embiid
going
was
back
out
to that same
a
series
couple years ago. I'll give him that game. He was great. But it always, as soon as you get deeper and deeper into the series, the lights get brighter, they shine, he fades away. And we talking about earlier about his style of play, it does not work in the playoffs. He's not a winning player, and the stats back it up. All the play, and you mentioned all players' stats go down. His really go down, especially when it matters most.
He won one of those games for them on a shot,
But then when he comes back and has help with Joel Embiid at MVP, it was his MVP year. He has Tyrese Maxey. He had help on the 76ers. He didn't have to do as much. He had to win one game for them, and that was it.
And he couldn't do nothing.
Where was he the rest of the series? He doesn't show up in the postseason. The 3 takes a step back. No pun intended. That takes a step back, right? So I don't understand why there's no accountability for James Harden when it's a playoff failure after playoff failure for him.
I think Embiid also takes a lot of the problem with that.
Oh, my God. You're doing exactly what he's saying. You can't be sitting here as a James Harden fan and then say, well, it wasn't him. It was really on Embiid, too. No. This is what he's talking about. He said James Harden need to take accountability.
There was no adjustment. I was frustrated by watching that Game 7 because I think Tatum ends up having like 50 points in that game.
Well, Game 6 was even worse.
Yeah, and right. Well, that was when Tatum was terrible, and then it kind of hit against at the end. But
where was James to close that game out?
I don't know. To me, when I was watching those, certainly in the Game 7, it was like there was absolutely no adjustment at all by the coaching staff to try and change that game and get back into it. And it was like at that point.
But there's no. You're not finna do this because there was no adjustment when he played with Houston. There was no adjustment. You trying to say it was no adjustment for the 76ers, trying to blame it on the coaches? Well, there was no adjustment with Houston either. And he was losing out there.
Superstar, right? You're defending
Come on, man.
One of the greatest shooting guards ever. Why doesn't he elevate his game? Don't the greats elevate their game when it matters most? He doesn't.
Yeah. Well, I'm in that one. I think
you're losing.
The dysfunction of that whole team ultimately overwhelmed
What was
everybody.
the dysfunction? James Harden was the dysfunction.
Yeah. Well, no.
James Harden was the dysfunction.
I think Embiid is dysfunction. I think Doc Rivers is part of that.
I'll give you Doc.
Doc Rivers, yes. Joel Embiid also is one of those people that you can't really trust, unfortunately. But James Harden falls in the category with them as well. So, I mean, hey.
No, he was an MVP that year. I'll give you Doc.
Yeah.
But James Harden was the main issue there. And I'll call him the liar. I'll call him the liar, not Daryl Morey. Because Daryl Morey is one of the winningest executives in the National Basketball Association. Doesn't have a championship, but he is one of the best at putting teams together. He is.
Yeah. And by the way, all that was probably swirling around too. He did take less money, and Daryl Morey did say he was going to give him a bigger extension, and then they didn't do that. So,
give me a break. Does he want to win or does he not want to win?
I think he wants to win.
Do he?
He hasn't.
I know.
He hasn't shown up.
Yeah. Again,
he doesn't want to win.
Well, listen.
He cares about partying in the club. That's what he loves to do.
I listen.
Popping bottles with a little baby. I mean, that's
a guy.
Seems like fun.
A guy who's that skilled obviously is in there. And by the way, the fact that he's been able to identify these loopholes basically in the rules where he's been able to exploit, that's a guy who's dedicated to the game, who's focused on that and trying to figure out how to unlock more of potential from his game.
But I will tell you, the greats elevate when the lights shine brightest. He steps back. That's what he does.
My next claim.
You know what? You are getting whooped. James Harden is not the one to be making all these claims, bro. He getting smacked. I ain't gonna lie. This fan losing every single battle, bro. Anyway, we got one more video of this, and we're gonna move on to the next fan versus hater. I'm gonna find one. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of them out there. I think there was a LeBron one. I think it's on my page somewhere. There's a lot of them. There's some football ones. There's a Patrick Mahomes one. There's a Lamar Jackson one. I think there's even an Angel Reese one. So we're gonna hop on those. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Stay tuned for the next one. Peace.